President Bola Tinubu on Thursday declared that Nigeria faced imminent bankruptcy if his administration had not swiftly ended the fuel subsidy and implemented crucial economic reforms. Receiving the delegation of former National Assembly colleagues from the aborted Third Republic at the State House in Abuja, the president explained that his actions were motivated by the need to protect the interests of future generations. For 50 years, Nigeria was spending money on generations yet unborn and servicing the west coast of our sub-region with fuel, President Tinubu said, adding it was getting difficult to plan for our children's future. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, reviewed details of Thursday's parley in a statement titled, "For 50 years, we were spending the money of generations yet unborn," President Tinubu. Highlighting the conditions at the outset of his administration, President Tinubu noted the social and economic challenges confronting the country, emphasizing that decisive steps were necessary to prevent financial collapse. We faced serious headwinds when I took over, very challenging times. Nigeria would have been bankrupt if we had not taken the actions that we took, and we had to prevent the economy's collapse, he said. He lauded Nigerians for rallying behind the reforms, crediting their collective support with helping to stabilize the exchange rate and lower food prices, especially during Ramadan. According to the president, democracy remains the surest path to achieving economic, social, and political development. He commended those who continue to hold fast to democratic principles, recalling the spirit of his days in the Third Republic and how it ultimately paved the way for his current position. Speaking on behalf of the visiting delegation, Senator Emmanuel Nwaka expressed his appreciation for several of the administration's initiatives, including the Nigerian Education Loan Fund and the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, describing them as impactful programs capable of alleviating both educational burdens and financial stress. I appreciate you for what you are giving to students because the student population is the largest demographic in the country. I've spoken with many of them and many have benefited from it. And the next one is the credit corp. That's a major way of fighting corruption. You see a young man, you come out of school, you want to buy a car, you have to put down cash. You want to buy a car, a house, and you are not married. But with credit corp, you can get things done. I'm following the activities. We are delighted, he said.
You see, Nigeria is still being ruled by this class of persons, the generals and the class of 1993. They are the people ruling Nigeria till now.
Well, we've had politicians coming out from this 21st century. And
you are a 21st century politician, but people ruling Nigeria, they are this class. They are the generals. Now people detecting, see, Nigeria is deep. Okay, let's look at, if it's 21st century this thing, then person like Obi would have won election and be the president of Nigeria.
There are many factors. If you go down there,
there are many factors, but if you look at the factors, there is no factor that is greater than the voice. He had the people, right? But there are people who sit at the helms of affairs. Abi? So the generals, and you don't expect them not to eulogize their person.
But this was a courtesy visit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a courtesy visit, and they must eulogize the person. Who is the person? He was with them in the Third Republic, Abi. They were the senators that even this man, Professor Osibanjo, during the book launch of IBB, you see the little comedy he made with it. Now at that point, after IBB dissolved the election, somebody was still, who was the person? The now president.
Yeah.
So they are, I will not come to you. They are, see, I spoke with someone and said, just find a way, collect your own comments.
Let's look at his comment.
You are now talking about fuel subsidy. Nigeria would have been bankrupt. How is Nigeria now? How is Nigeria? How is the removal of fuel subsidy reflecting in our economy?
It's a gradual process.
The gradual process for me is, see, before you remove something, what are the blueprints? What are the arrangements you set in place? What are the plans? what are the step-to-step guides? You remove subsidy, we are still importing fuel.
But
the recent problem between Dangote, NNPC, and them, you heard the news that were coming out.
But you know that's to the benefit of the ordinary Nigerian.
And to the which benefit?
Because there was a time when it was alleged that the exchange rate between dollar and naira affected the prices of things in the market. Now, as a point, we now find out that okay, the naira started gaining stability at some point.
How much is the naira now?
I think last I checked was 1,500.
Sorry, he came to state. How much was the naira to a dollar?
When he came to state, I can't go back to that figure. No.
As of the week of election, that was when the dollar hit 700 naira.
Okay.
So within how many years? It has doubled. At a point, it wanted to triple. It has been dangling between this range. Fuel, Jonathan brought fuel to, was it 90, how many naira? Nigeria would have caught fire. He was among some of these men were among the people that protested against Jonathan. That he brought fuel from 65 naira where Obasanjo kept it. We are now buying fuel 90-something naira. We were among the people that protested. Buhari brought it to, is it 150 naira or so? It was, now how much are we buying fuel?
825 naira.
825 naira.
Yes, because
it's not 825, it's 900 and 900 and.
No, Dangote recently reduced.
That is Dangote.
You know,
see, Michael. Let's look at what you are looking at. What are we? Go to the filling station here. How much are you buying fuel? Let's not say Dangote. See, there are some.
These are major stakeholders.
These are major stakeholders, but what? See, every economy, you look at the potential of that economy in the life of the consumers.
You know, where I was heading to was, okay, we never found out that the naira's value wasn't the sole reason why things were actually hiked. And then now it was then traced to, okay, it was fuel, the price of fuel. And recently we found out that there's been a dangle in the price of fuel, and considerably we could say that the price of goods have been
affected, right?
Yes, positively.
Have been affected. See, I've been affected. How much was a bag of rice by May 2023?
I can't recall that.
Michael, so see, there are some things there. Like, Nigeria is a cruise. We are catching cruise in this nation. And because we have, Nigerians, we've been trained to accommodate pain. And the way the politicians, the political class has condescended people is to the extent that to talk, you don't feel like talking. The fear of the unknown just engulf the people. There are some things. Okay, how did removal of fuel subsidy, how much has been saved from fuel subsidy? Make it public, let's know.
That's what the National Bureau of Statistics do.
So let us know. Then where are the monies going? Nigeria is still borrowing till today. You saw our budget, how much is to be borrowed? Just how much? See, let's look into, Nigeria, if you remove fuel subsidy, what are the measures? They said Port Harcourt refinery will start producing. How is it? Is it producing?
Not yet.
We have 3 refineries. Kaduna refinery, I don't know what the refinery is doing in Kaduna. They don't have oil there, but refineries in Kaduna. So we have Kaduna refinery, we have Port Harcourt refinery, we have Warri refinery, and we have the one at Petrochemical. So with these refineries, let's put these 3 plus Dangote, we are supposed to have enough fuel with a reduced price. But how much are we still buying fuel? You told us that we will own fuel in our houses. Are we owning the fuel in our houses? We are not.
Yet.
Yet how now? How will it be? See, when we are doing something, you study the past question, you read the newspaper to answer the question paper during exams, right? When we study the past, analyze the current occurrences, we will know that, okay, this thing is going to happen. When we study the past, analyze the question paper during exams, right? When we study the past, analyze the question paper during exams, right? When we study the past, analyze the current occurrences, we will know that, okay, this thing is going to happen. When we study the past, analyze the question paper during exams, right? When we study the past, Even our judiciary that would have defended us has been bastardized. Is it not judiciary independent panel of inquiry that is 14 Supreme Court judgments? There are 14 Supreme Court judgments that the judgment they gave is not right. That is not constitutional. So where are we going? When the Senate are supposed to do check and balance, Senate President will say we are here to do the bidding of the President. When the judiciary that was supposed, people can go and then they will have the effrontery. Look at what is happening to Trump. The court is telling Trump this thing is not doing, and he's obeying it. How can it happen in Nigeria? Where someone with effortlessly, with much tenacity, tell you go to court.
At least we've seen a light at the end of the tunnel in River State crisis. Road.
Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? Where is the light? See. You don't solve problem with another problem being covered.
How do you mean?
You don't solve problem with another problem being covered.
What problem has been solved with the problem?
You said we've seen the lights now. I'm using your word. What light have we seen? The Supreme Court gave judgment. And now independent judiciary panel of this thing, they've come out to forfeit the judgment. You gave a judgment. Within the period of giving judgment now, the next thing that is happening, that the same law that our House of Assembly made. What happened to the that is what you are coming because you want to, since there is a conflict between the governor and you want to pass the law to suit your own. Or what? How will it be that 2023 we have electoral this thing? 2025 you are coming to, it's not just amendment. You are bringing a full, fresh electoral law for River State. On what ground? On what ground? Let's think outside the box. Let's not just, it's time that calls for critical analysis of our situation. We want to forge ahead. It's not just what we should just see it and say this is how it is and sit with it.
If you're saying fuel subsidy hasn't helped.
It hasn't. Mike, I can say it, I can beat my chest. Okay, let's say, how has it helped us? How did fuel subsidy, you are talking about the student loan. We were here the other day when students were crying that they applied, you are supposed to be given 120,000. How much is the school fees in Uniport? That is a federal institution. All the federal institutions, how much are they paying as school fees? How much are you giving as the loan? It's not up to the school fees that students are paying. So we should be much meticulous in what we are doing. I know that it's politics. Politicians, they have sweet mouths. They have a way of cajoling people into doing whatever they want them to do. But we shouldn't eulogize what ought not to be eulogized. We shouldn't sing the order of what ought not to be sung.
So, as a public affairs analyst, if you're saying fuel subsidy hasn't helped in the economy, what would you suggest should have been the president's approach to economy?
Okay, this is what happened. Before you are removing subsidy, are you getting it?
Okay.
Now, I know almost all the president of Nigeria have been talking about removal of subsidy. Are you getting it? Okay. But now, there are measures to be put in place. Let our refineries work. Dangote, I said, follow Dangote issue with NNPC and the federal government. Many secrets were leaked. That if a nation was working, by now DSS or whatsoever, even EFCC would have been able to arrest some persons.
In where?
In Nigeria, the Dangote and NNPC saga.
Okay.
I don't know whether you followed the saga.
Yeah, I'm following the saga.
The revelation that if Dangote, you know Dangote is not someone that comes up to talk anyhow. Since you want to put your finger in my eye, let me reveal what you have been doing. Who owns Wando? And they are the people importing fuel from Malta. Mike, please, let's store it there. But let's do what is right. Let's remove the pictures and put the pictures of our family. Let's think. Let's put, if you are in the place of authority today, you are eating well, you are traveling around the world. What happened to the generations coming? What will people say about you? There is always a day of reckoning. There is always a day people will sit down and they look at you with your antecedent. They look at what you've done. We need Nigeria to work. I always say, I'm one person that believes in Nigeria. I don't believe in going anywhere. If others are leaving, we can't make this area. But they should help us. Let's see how we can build this nation. Let's see how we can have a nation that we can be proud of, to call a nation. Look at what is happening in some African countries around us.
I will get to that. But let's